Mark here, cooking books, bringing info. So real quick, I want to talk about inside out approach, taking the inside out approach to life, internal work and internal shifting. But before I do that, I want to use an analogy. I want to talk about corporate restructuring. Corporate restructuring. I've been in finance for 14 years now, and corporate restructuring is where a company is experiencing some internal problems, whether it's financial or otherwise. Right? Maybe it could be market conditions, markets are changing, or it could be some environmental factors, right? Uh, Political swings, whatever the case may be. So companies do what's called corporate restructuring, and what they do is they modify, they alter, whether it be some financial alterations or they downsize in terms of staff. They might downsize. And again, it's always based on some kind of economic. It could be an economic downturn. Margins are being squeezed, whatever the case may be. So companies begin to restructure, reorganize from within, in response to some external adversities. External adversities again being market conditions, economic downturns, etc., etc. I say that to say this: that is a strategy that we as people, as individuals, not corporations, but as individuals, are to practice. Uh, a lot of times, what we tend to do is that whenever there is some external uh, problems or some external adversities that arise in the environment of our in the ambience of our individual lives, a lot of times we try to fix that with external items, right? We try to find things outside to fix the whatever the difficulties may be. So if there's an internal conflict within each and every one of us, which there always is, every human being has some kind of underlying internal struggle, whether it's psychological, emotional, whatever the case may be. And what we always, not always, but the vast majority of us, what we tend to do is we try to fix an internal problem with an external solution. I think taking a page out of the corporate restructuring book would be suitable and fitted rightly here. What we ought to understand is that the external problems that we face and encounter oftentimes are the source can be found internally. There's something within you that is creating your external ambiance, your external troubles, adversities, situations. Most often than not, that it's generated by the source is something internal. So I just believe that it would be beneficial if we can learn to do a corporate restructuring from within, right? We are to see if we can figure out what's going on the inside of us, and take what I call the inside out approach as opposed to the outside in approach. A lot of times we go through breakups, we go through divorces, we go through struggles, financial setbacks, whatever it is, we go through. We even just on a it doesn't even have to be a major catalyst or a major adversity. Just the weekends, right? A lot of times we have a stressful week at work. We have families. We have the burden of relationships. We have the burdens of bills, whatever. So on the weekends, we want to go out. We want to have a drink. We want to socialize. We want to gather. We want to have fun with our friends. All of this is nothing is inherently wrong with this, but it's not. It's not fixing the internal issue. None of it is going to speak to the internal problem or the internal situation. So rather than externally trying to drink or party or whatever, the sorrow away, the better approach would be is to figure out what's going on the inside, downsize within, uh, alter from within, modify from within, change, transmute from within, and in so doing, we'll see the results outside. And this is the inside out approach. And again, it's a book out of the corporations. Corporations do this all the time. So I think it would be very beneficial if we are facing any issues in our lives, whether it be personal, financial, business, whatever. It's very important that we understand that the internal work. Okay, it's an internal work that is needed that's going to create an internal shifting, And when you can shift and strategize from within, right? Restructure from within. Restructure your emotional intelligence. Restructure your emotional awareness. Restructure your psychological uh, layers, right? Restructure your mental sentiments, right? When we can learn to restructure from within, right? Reorganize, downsize, strategize from within, then we would create more desired outcomes within our lives. Now, if this doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. If you're already doing it, kudos. But for those of us who aren't, this is a piece of advice that I think is very useful. It's a technique that, again, corporations are using on a regular basis. I think if we can learn to take a leaf or a page out of that book, whatever situations we're going to, here's the bottom line. If you're not facing a situation now, you will be. Because there's only three things. You're either going into a situation, you're coming out of a situation, or you're currently in a situation. That's just the three ways it works in life. You're either going in to a situation, one, you're coming out of a situation, two, or you're currently in the midst of a storm, three. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I always believe in being preemptive, right? Sometimes we all get caught off guard. But if you can be preemptive, this is a strategy that I think you should definitely have in your playbook. And again, it's called working from within, inside out approach. Internalized shifting, internalized workarounds. And again, it's something that companies do all the time. And I think it will be very beneficial for us as individuals if we can take some of the corporate stratagems and exercise that in our individual and personal and collective lives. Till next time, Mark here, cooking the books. Peace.